Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto, where we come to transform ourselves and each other and the world. It is really good to be together this morning. You can have your video on throughout the service if you'd like to see one another's faces. That's a lovely way to put ourselves on gallery and see who's here. So share your video if you're comfortable sharing. Mostly we keep ourselves on mute, but let's unmute for a moment now to say hello, wish each other good morning. Hello. Good morning, everyone. You can see the order of service by following the link in the chat. There's lots coming up this week, including a class on strategies of the civil rights movement that is powerfully related to today's service. So I hope you'll follow up on those links and also read down to the bottom of the order of service for lots of information about today's speakers. Now we have a thank you for lots of the folks, a small fraction of the folks we need to thank in this congregation. Let's give them our attention.
Worshiping on Zoom, we're gonna let it shine. Worshiping on Zoom, we're gonna let it shine. Worshiping on Zoom, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Run and close our doors now. We're gonna let it shine. Run and close our doors now. We're gonna let it shine. Run and close our doors now. We're gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Care for others' needs. Yes, we're gonna let it shine. Care for others' needs. Yes, we're gonna let it shine. Care for others' needs. Yes, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Again, thank you. The title, The Prayerful, the Powerful, and the Protectors, is a theme lifted up in what we will be hearing, which is the Ware Lecture that was delivered at the Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly late last month. It is called a lecture, but these two speakers preach. The Ware Lecture has been given annually, first at the American Unitarian Association meetings, and then at those of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the UUA, ever since the Ware family endowed it in 1920. Some of the most notable lecturers have been the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Kurt Vonnegut Jr., and Mary Oliver. On July 4th, we spoke about how we can bring democracy to our country. And now, with the release of the Ware Lecture to the public, we welcome two inspiring examples of people leading us in this labor of love. Stacey Abrams served as Democratic leader of the Georgia House of Representatives for 7 years, then ran for governor of Georgia in 2018 in an election infamously marred by extensive voter suppression. Instead of licking her wounds, she launched Fair Fight Action to ensure that every US American has a voice in our election system. She's also the best-selling author of several works of nonfiction and fiction, and a huge science fiction fan. Desmond Meade is a formerly homeless returning citizen who overcame many obstacles to eventually graduate from law school, become a Ford Global Fellow, be recognized by Time Magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2019, and head the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. He is also the author of a book, Let My People Vote. UUA President, the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray said in welcoming them, "I cannot imagine two people more important to speak to us in this critical moment of history. We're all about to see why." And now, let us begin our service. If you have a chalice there with you, please light it along with me as I share these words by the Reverend Molly Brewer. My beloved people, I cannot pretend, and so I will not tell you that everything is okay right now, that there is no reason to be angry, that you must be optimistic or at peace. I cannot pretend these things, and so I won't tell them to you. But now our chalice is lit, and so all I ask in this moment is that we remember the words of Rebecca Parker. There is a love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all. By the light of our chalice, let us rest in this love. With our centering words each week, we draw on the many sources of our living tradition. Today's words are from the US activist and politician A. Philip Randolph. Justice is never given. It is exacted. And the struggle must be continuous, for freedom is never a final fact, but a continuing, evolving process to higher and higher levels of human, social, economic, political, and religious relationships. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, let us become centered and fully present in this place together. Please join in as Bruce leads us in singing, "I Woke Up This Morning."
This morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I was walking and talking with my mind stayed on freedom, walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on freedom, walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on freedom, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I was singing and praying with my mind. Stayed on freedom, singing and praying with my mind. Stayed on freedom, singing and praying with my mind. Stayed on freedom, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, I woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on freedom, woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on freedom, woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on freedom, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
We now turn our thoughts to the important events of our lives and of one another's lives. If you wish the community to share one of your joys or sorrows, please share it in the chat. We do not have the email address available today, but as we all see these chat items appear, let us be aware that they are coming from the heart into these words, onto these screens, from which they then arrive in our hearts. And let us hold them all. You, the people you mention, all of these joys and all of these sorrows in the most tender place of our hearts. It is a precious and beautiful and difficult life that we share. We are privileged to share it with one another. Let us honor the preciousness of each being by offering to one another our compassion and care, not just when we gather here, but whenever we meet. And let us all know that we are held by a love greater than ourselves, amplified by this community, and big enough to hold all. Blessed be. Please join in once again as Bruce leads us in singing.
There's a river flowing There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my mind.
Now please join in as Bruce leads us in singing "Love Will Guide Us."
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
We create this space together. Wherever we are, we have chosen to be together, hoping that together we can do so much more to make our lives into all that we dream of and make our world into the one we hope to see, the one that Stacey Abrams and Desmond Meade have envisioned, and far beyond. So if we are moved by gratitude to each other, we may choose to support with whatever financial resources we can manage this community that we are creating and that is creating us. The offering will now be given and received. The order of service gives a QR code and a link and also information on how to use text to give via Give Lively. What a light there is within the human spirit. People who have battled back against unimaginable difficulties, who have kept themselves warm through cold winters of injustice and lack of freedom, this flame burns in each of us. So we carry it forth. It will give us whatever comfort, whatever strength, whatever connection to one another we need, if we will just become aware of it and be guided by it until we meet again. Please stay after the benediction for our virtual coffee time. You'll be invited to small group conversations in our breakout rooms. I hope you'll be able to stay to connect with one another and share what's in your hearts after experiencing this service. Please unmute yourself and touch hands virtually by touching the edges of the box of your Zoom frame while we say our benediction together. Go out into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast to what is good. Return no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Rejoice in beauty. Speak love with word and deed. Honor all beings.